नमस्कार, बधाई हो में आप सभी दर्शकों का स्वागत है। मैं हूं सुरभि गुलेरिया जोशी। आज के कार्यक्रम में OMNI2 पर दिखाई जाने वाली प्रलेखी बेगमपुरा द वाइव्स कॉलोनी की एक पात्र ताहिरा खान से परिवारों पर अर्थशास्त्र के प्रभाव पर विचार विमर्श करेंगे। लेकिन सबसे पहले एक ऐसी लेखक जिनकी कहानियां भारत की लोक कथाओं, अंधविश्वास और कल्पना से प्रेरित हैं। आइए जानते हैं महताब नरसिम्हा के उपन्यास के अलग अंदाज और मुख्य चुनौतियों के बारे में।
किताबों के साथ पली बड़ी है महताब नरसिम्हन, जिन्होंने कनाडा में रहकर खूब मेहनत करते हुए अपने आप को इस काबिल बनाया कि वो नौकरी कर सके और साथ ही में कहानियां लिखने की अपनी इच्छा भी पूरी कर सकें।
It actually started with my father passing away in 2003, and I always used to look to books to get me through a very difficult time, whether it was during school hours, even to avoid homework. But at that point in time, in 2003, when my father passed away, I remember turning to books more than ever to try and get through that difficult period. And again, as I said, my mother had always instilled this love of reading. She always used to buy us books. My summer holidays were filled with books. So I used to be an avid reader anyways. And then all of a sudden, it kind of, clicked saying, I love reading. Why don't I try writing a story?
महताब को शुरू से ही फैंटेसीज और मिथोलॉजी में दिलचस्पी रही।
I love Indian mythology and culture, and mythology और में इतनी सारी interesting चीज़ें हैं. Like for example, the story of how Ganesh got his head. I love that story. I mean, बहुत सारी versions हैं, लेकिन the one that I love is the one that actually made it into the book. And the story of Savitri and Satyavan, how Savitri goes after the god of death and brings back her husband, and those kind of things हम आम तरह देखते नहीं हैं in all these books in mainstream. And I just figured, okay, first of all, Indian mythology is very rich. I think people need to know about it, and not in large chunks, but in smaller little bits, interesting bits of it, which can be into a story. And the reason I wrote fantasy is because I love reading fantasy, and you can be most successful in writing something which you love. If I write something just because it's popular or it's common, but I don't like it, it's going to come out really bad. So that was one of the reasons I wrote it.
कहानियां लिखने के शौक से शुरुआत हुई महताब के लेखक बनने की सफर की, और वहां से उन्होंने एक फैंटेसी लिखनी चाही जिसे एक किताब का रूप भी दिया गया, और उसका नाम था द थर्ड आई।
The first one, the third eye, is about a protagonist, which is the main character called Tara, and the entire thing is about facing your worst nightmares and being able to survive. That is the theme of this one.
द थर्ड आई के बाद महताब ने इसे एक ट्रिलॉजी में बदलने के बारे में भी सोचा, और फिर दूसरी किताब द सिल्वर एंकलेट लिखी।
The second book, which was called The Silver Anklet, this is again, Tara's brother and his friend get snatched by hyenas, and there is a very deadly game of hide and seek, but it is also making very, very difficult choices about, should I do something that is good for me and my family, or should I do it for the good of a lot of people? So it is about making the right choices, moral choices, and really tough choices.
और इस कहानी का तीसरा हिस्सा है द डेडली कॉज।
To summarize this is believing in yourself when no one else in the world believes in you, and that even includes your own family. So that's having the confidence in believing in yourself, and it basically, that theme of the third book is basically an overarching theme for the entire story, because a lot of people always wonder, change is constant in life, and they always have to wonder, am I up to it? Am I going to be able to handle it? And the only thing that you do have is what's inside of you. So that is the theme of believing that whatever comes your way, you are going to succeed. You just have to face it head on.
इस ट्रिलॉजी का पहला हिस्सा लिखने में महताब को तकरीबन 4 साल लग गए।
ये जो पहली किताब थी took 4 साल। 4 साल I did it from the beginning to the end, and about 20 rewrites. So that is a lot. I mean, to do it again and again, and it's about 240 pages. So you can imagine how many times I rewrote it. In fact, जब से ये छपी है, मैंने एक बार नहीं पढ़ी, because I cannot bear to see it anymore. I have read it so often. It's like, I am done with this. So it's the only time I will read it is when I go to a school presentation or whatever. In that case, I'll read it out. But otherwise, 4 साल लगे थे, because I was learning so many things for this first time. कि each draft के साथ you learn something new. You learn about the characters or the plots, or how to start a chapter, how to end the chapter. इतनी सारी चीजें you have to learn.
महताब को अपना शौक पूरा करने के लिए बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ी।
Having a full-time day job, I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I gave myself a quota of writing 1,000 words a day, and that adds up to 7,000 words. You know, that's how a novel actually builds up. Every day you have to sit and write, and you have to have that discipline. So I started writing. It took me, as I said, about a year and a half to finish the first draft. Lots of rejections, writing it again, rewriting it again, and then finally got to the final stage.
और महताब की मेहनत रंग लाई और उन्हें एक खास पुरस्कार से सम्मानित भी किया गया।
Actually, it came as such a huge shock. It's the Ontario Library Association which organizes this. It's called the Silver Birch Award, and basically it is, it's entirely in Ontario. So they announced 10. So it was shortlisted among 10 books that were published in the year of 2007, and this list is then, sort of sent out to all the schools, and all the schools in Ontario that are participating in the Silver Birch program, or I actually call the Forest of Reading program, they have various categories at obviously various grade levels. So this one was selected, and to my surprise and shock, it won.
महताब नरसिम्हन के साथ हम कुछ दिलचस्प बातें और मुंबई की यादें अगले सप्ताह ताज़ा करेंगे। बधाई हो कार्यक्रम के लिए मैं असीस सेठी।
मिलेंगे ताहिरा खान से, लेकिन एक ब्रेक के बाद। देखते रहिए बधाई हो।